छाया आसमां में, देखो झूमता गगन, हे छाया आसमां में, देखो झूमता गगन, जमीन आसमां पूछ गया, झूमता गगन, मेरे झूमने जहां, ये कैसा नशा प्यार का समा, वही समा झूमे आसमां, होश तो खोले प्यार तू ले ले संग मेरे झूम गा, कैसा नशा होश है कहाँ, होश तो खोले प्यार तू ले ले संग मेरे झूम गा. Hello, 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 hello. Here we go. Tuesday afternoon. Can't really call it a surprise live anymore. It says we're live. Let's see what we can see here. All right. This is G. You're watching Allastrology. And we do astrology readings. If you've got your chart, let's take a look at it. I need your birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state, and we will take a peek. Yeah, you can see the email at the bottom, on the bottom of the screen. allastrology@gmail.com. Pay attention to the spelling. It's a little tricky. You might send an email and it doesn't get to me. For you to show up and get a reading, you got to be in the chat. The chat is the queue. And let's see who's all here, who we're going to be taking a look at. But yeah, come on in. These are free readings. If you want me to, it's a speed reading, right? So if you want me to spend more time on your stuff, you can do a Cash App, you can do a Venmo. Look right under the live stream. The details are right there. All right, so let's see what's going on. It's Tuesday. Today is Mars Day. And let's move this over a little bit here and see what we're looking at. See who we've got here. Oh, teamwork. I see you. All right, let me go check and see what we got going on over there. Anything in the email? In case we got to do something more specific. Okay, good. Okay, teamwork. Excellent. Good job. Thank you for letting me know. That's perfect. That helps a whole bunch. Oh, I see Lou S is here. Woohoo. We got some people who made it to the weekday. Yes. Just saw the notification. Wow. It worked, huh? Every blue moon, that stuff works. I always forget through the week. Yeah, it's really just help pick up on the time when there's just names that I can never get to. Lots of people. So yeah, if there's no overspill, and I'll be like, okay, I got other things to do. And right now it's looking pretty slow, huh? Yeah. I'm on the wrong screen. Yeah, there's still the vertical and there's the horizontal. Mm-hmm. I got stuff laying around here. Okay. Well, Lou, are we taking a look? Yeah. Get your digits. Birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. Now I'm on the right one. Oh, I think you're on the right one. You said you were just going to be, yeah. So that means no dates. You haven't gotten any options or any dates, teamwork. Mm-hmm. Think I'm the one here. Mr. Reborn. Yes, I see you, Mr. Reborn. Mhm. Yeah. For Mars Day, it's a quiet day. I usually try to go a little bit earlier. It just didn't work out today at all to get on here sooner. So, Lou, you're next. Are we looking at your chart? Oh. Oh. Gotcha. You just met with the surgeon today. Oh. Well, that's good. At least things are progressing. Alrighty. Okay, so again, Lou, are you there? Am I looking at you? I just saw the notification. Yes. Well, then it goes to Mr. Reborn. And if that's it, well, oh, yep. Get your digits in if you have to be on that chat if you want your chart read. That's right. All right. Well, if there's none of the folks who were from the overspill that didn't get a chance for me to look at their chart here, I always say this every live, then I have other stuff I can do. I will definitely. I'm just trying to give people an opportunity. You can look at mine. Yeah, well, Lou is next, but Lou isn't normally here at this time. Maybe Lou is just popping in to say hello. So let's go, Mr. Reborn. Let's take a look at yours and see what we're looking at. Otherwise, I'm out. I'll wait a little bit, of course. But I have a whole bunch of other stuff I can be doing. Absolutely. Let's see, Mr. Reborn. There you go. All right, so what are we checking out here, Mr. Reborn? Let's get you up in here. Let's get your chart on the screen. See what we can see. Look at that. It's great to be in the database, right? Oh, okie dokie. Ah, all right. Mr. Reborn, Sun in the 12th. Okay. Did you give me a keyword? You just looked it up, though, not long ago. Yeah, I got you. So did you give me something you want me to look at? Or you want me to just talk about what kind of jumps out? Yeah, that sometimes when people have the Capricorn in that 12th house, like that can be really powerful energy. The Capricorn is said to have like this mystical side to it that people kind of don't really lean into because it's kind of confusing, right? It's like the sea goat. Like, what the hell is that anyway? Right? It's an earth sign, but it's a sea goat. How do you understand that? But being in the 12th house, um, and having your sun there and your Mercury there, and your Mercury is ahead of your sun, you probably know a little something about that. Your Mercury trines your Chiron as well. Interesting. Okay. Chiron in the 3rd house. Yeah, for some reason, like I said, your Capricorn was like the first thing. So that can definitely be career, long-term goals. Yeah. But that mystical side of that Capricorn energy, what is that sea goat energy anyway? Right? What does it turn into? What is the spiritual side of Capricorn? Is there such a thing? Yeah, you know what some would say that it is? Yeah, a sense of belonging rather than a sense of worth based on worldly success. Mhm. Honoring feelings, unity, oneness, kind of like a nurturing kind of energy. But in the 12th house, it speaks to like all the like Pisces stuff, meditation and prayer, definitely understanding unity and oneness. Do you feel like you experienced that? I mean, you got Mercury there ahead of your sun. Means you might get information ahead of time as well. Hey, Donna, I see you there. Well, you know what they say about the 12th house? For people who've got stuff there anyway, that's the placement of you just know shit. You don't know how you know it. You don't know why you know it. It's just in your head. You just know it. There's just things you know. And sure, some of it can be a little, out there, but not so much when it comes to Cappy energy. That's usually the energy of reality. So it's a real strange mixture of material, tangible, hardcore, like long term goals. And I can pick it up and hold it in my hand in the non tangible 12th house. So it's the combination of how do you kind of like live in both realms, live in both worlds. Pisces in the first and in the second house a little bit, but that Aquarian energy, that makes it tricky too. And the Venus there. So what that means is, yeah, there's going to come a time when that Pluto is going to touch in with that Venus of yours. And man, the 22 degrees Capricorn, dude, that was the pandemic stuff. Yeah, that was Saturn and Jupiter right on your freaking nodes. Holy crap. That had to be a thing. Home and work and values and long-term goals. He says, I call it the fog. Yeah, the dream state for sure. The dream state. Yeah. But the fog does. That works. And the other thing too that's really pronounced is that, I think that moon in Cappy, 27 degrees, Mercury degree. I'd say that's a big deal. So it's the mixture of the mother and the father energy. Can be difficulty when it comes to, I don't know, the past. It's going to be really strong. Rules, regulations, restrictions, but I'm like authority figure type of energy for sure. For sure. Yeah, they even say with that sometimes these folks make life harder than it needs to be. But respect would be a big deal. A past life based where you had to work hard to earn other people's respect. Yeah. This the beauty of having that where you do is that 12th house talks about it can make us humble. It can make us a little less on the egotistical side, less prideful. But the South Node in Capricorn is the challenge to become um it's the challenge to become more focused on the inner world and focused on others and family. It's got more of a family vibration to it. And the public. The public. Yep. The greater family, humanity. Alrighty. So here you go for oh, wait a minute. Let me change this really quick for you, and then we're going to flip it. Let me go to this. So here we are. Look at everyone. Venus in Cancer. Family, home, emotions, property, emotional stability. It's a big time when people have like family reunions. Venus in Cancer. So this is the two great benefics, folks. We got Venus and Jupiter together, the two great benefics in Cancer. And today, the moon is in Cancer. But here's the really interesting thing. Venus is out of bounds. The moon is out of bounds. So there's going to be an emotional need to connect with people, whether it's actual family members, to connect with people on an emotional level, but likely conversations about maybe childhood, the past, history, my own family, your family, our tribal family, looking into the past, discussing the past. Matter of fact, we just in the house just had a conversation about history. We were just talking about it. And of course, pulling in astrology, but really some fascinating stuff, especially for someone who's got North Node in Cancer energy. So relationships, 7th house energy, partnerships. Your lesson is to not give up ambition, but to balance it with care, kindness, and sensitivity. This sounds familiar, yeah. So, yeah, this makes it feel as though you're the boss. You have to take charge maybe in those relationships. So having Venus in Cancer, remember everybody, this is the two great benefics of the zodiac. And so this should be a nice time in general where we feel more unified, where we can have greater understanding. I'm trying to be optimistic, and that would be a blessing of Jupiter. Optimism, Jupiter at the Jupiter degree, but Venus out of bounds. And her out of bounds, which means she internalizes a little bit more, but the desire factor is going to be amped up. It's like on a whole nother level when a planet goes out of bounds. So she's at 25 and she peaks, I think it was on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd of this month. So desires, money, values, feminine energy, really strong, property, home. This is all going to be like amped up. And the desire for those things are going to be important. So deep emotional connections. This is work for you because it's going through your house of work, your house of day-to-day routines, and the placement of your health. So maybe there's some things you're going to be switching up, some things where you'll find health and day-to-day routines, tasks, projects, especially with family members, anything with family or people who feel like family, feminine energy. This will be emotionally satisfying. And there might be a little bit of a bonus in there in some way, shape, or form because it brings Venus and Jupiter focused on the same thing. Jupiter's got great focus when we think of Cancer energy, great focus on who is part of my tribe and who do I value because Venus will be there. Now, money may come into play. It's possible. So if we're talking about work, especially since Jupiter's at 21, your midheaven's at 29, and Venus is going up in the numbers, maybe there's going to be a little bit of a recognition, maybe a little bit of a bonus, maybe a little bit of a surprise, some sort of a gift, some sort of a very sociable, beneficial, but yet recognition for your hard work. That's a possibility. All right. I hope that made sense. And we are moving on here. Let's see what we got. Teamwork said pass. Lou, I don't know if Lou came back. All right, we're moving on. Is there anybody else here? Otherwise, we're done. Teamwork, Mr. Reborn. You can look at mine. All righty. Healings. Hey, Donna, are you still here? Donna, you're next if you're here. It's 1:11 here. It is 3:19 right now. Donna, so what is going on with the energy right now? It's crazy. Yeah, Donna, you want your chart? Are you here? Oh, and then Sergius is here. All right, Sergius, Donna's here. Oh, good. Well, Donna, did you hear anything I just said about how we've got Venus is out of bounds, the moon is out of bounds, and Venus is in Cancer. So it's compounded energy of the same energy. You follow? Venus in Cancer, that's moon energy. The moon is out of bounds, and the moon is in Cancer. You see, so an intensification on what my emotional needs are. How do I feel emotionally secure and stable? But who and what I value is now part of this. So women and feminine energy is pretty prominent and talking about the past. Maybe connecting the dots. Jupiter brings the wisdom, the knowledge, the connection from the past to the present and into the future. That is the magic of Jupiter energy at the Jupiter degree. So let's get Donna's chart up here before I keep babbling. All right, let me go find you, Donna. I know you're in here. So, and I think I have you in here as Donna. Yep, there we go. Let's take a peek. Let's get this on the screen. Okay, so Donna says, what the hell is going on right now? Yes, please. I sure did. Yeah, did it make sense? Yeah, no problem. All right, let me go take a good look at yours because you might have some angles. Now, the thing to remember about a Venus, folks, everybody always talks about money and desires and love and food and sensuality and the five senses and everything that's beautiful, peaceful, and harmonious. Venus. But Venus can be wicked. If we've got someone who's really focused on their desires and overly focused, like way up there, they've just gone off the chart, it can turn into pretty difficult energy to deal with. But because we right now have the sun still in, I'm sorry, wait a minute. Let me get this on the screen so you can see it. Yeah, see how the sun's in Taurus? That helps some of the stability and calmness and searching for peace and harmony. But even the sun is at a moon degree. Even the freaking sun is at a moon degree. Now, Donna, for you specifically, coworkers, neighbors, peers, siblings, social media. Why? Because look at your chart. You have Mercury sitting right there on your second house cusp line. You've got Mercury, which was just on top of your Mars. So this would have been aggressive, possibly, communications, assertive communications, rapid, like, yeah, rapid communications. Um, we can also be really optimistic, but it can be short, it can be fast bursts. Yeah, it's Mars, it just kind of jumps in, jumps out. And maybe even technical difficulties because, yeah, just some of the stuff that's going on up in the sky and Uranus at 1 degrees in the astrology, 1 degrees conjunct your Mars. Have you been getting less sleep? I would think so. Maybe not right at this moment because we're already at 5, but when Mercury was on top of your Mars, because Mercury would have just been on Uranus energy and you probably wouldn't have needed a whole bunch of sleep. Okay, so now you have Venus sitting on your sun, Donna. Your sun is how you express. Yep. And it's conjunct your north node. All right. So this is that caring, nurturing energy. And home is a big deal. Home and family is a big deal. Strong emotions, for sure. Possibly emotional reactions, especially if you're in a protective mama bear mode. And we can be that towards anybody. Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be just our blood children that we are like, where we can have that warm, big mama bear thing that comes out. Um, so when you have Venus on there, she really wants everything that's going to add to the nurturing quality. So the home's going to become, and remember, this is literally physically where you live too. Again, this is a kind of a mixed bag for you in that communication's huge because this is about home, but it's all in your third house. So sometimes we can be super sensitive. I'm going to give you a quick example of the sun and Cancer energy in the third house. I was just talking with somebody not too long ago, and it was actually like a text message somebody had sent me, and then the following day, it was a silly text message. It wasn't anything major at all. It was something super simple. The following day, the weirdest thing, they sent me a message and they were like apologizing. I said, "For what?" And they said, "Because I had sent you that text message." And I said, "But you meant to send it to me. You told me you were going to send it." And they're like, "Yes." I said, "So why are you apologizing?" They're like, "I don't know. I just felt really bad that I sent it." And it wasn't like a bad message. It was really kind of strange. But this kind of makes me think of that. This is someone who's being probably overly sensitive about a communication. Now, whether it was a text message, whether it was, a verbal face-to-face communication, but just something where somebody was thinking back into the past and probably possibly overreacting to something that either somebody said to them or the way they said something to somebody else. Because the way I express is your sun energy and communicate. And being conjunct your north node in terms of things that are important to you, people that are important to you, and then Venus being here adds to the importance level. So the desire energy can become strong. And remember, Venus is out of bounds, and her out of bounds peaks like on the 20th, 21st, and the 22nd, which means it becomes even more important. And with the Venus peaking, remember, she's all about our food, folks. So if there's like, if we're eating and we're feeling like, damn, I got a sweet tooth, or damn, I need to eat something else, or I'm finding ways, anything beautiful, anything that smells good, look good, tastes good, like any of those things can be emotionally satisfying. We may use them as that tool to just give us some of that, that security that we're kind of want, even though we're like, oh, but I got a sweet tooth. So the big thing I think for you would have been when Mercury was touching on that Mars and Uranian energy is close to it. Things might move so fast. It might be insane. But having the moon out of bounds enhances all of this even more. Okay. There's just more emotions involved. And emotions cloud things. They make them murky. They make it difficult to understand. And you know what? Right now, when we're thinking about in terms of the past, the object for karma up in the sky, group energy, karma, it's still sitting at 11, right? It's almost like soul energy, soul group energy. It's an exact trine to the moon. And that's with Humea, who gives us like a health report card on our emotions, a health report card in understanding feminine energy in the past and history. But the need for emotional satisfaction and safety is huge. Safety, that's a big one. The other thing too, today is the nodes just went to 4 degrees. So you see how so far everything is all about women, home, family, Cancer energy, the public, the past, and history. So if we're having a hard time with people, whether it's just in simple communications or things are just confusing, no wonder. The emotions can override our thought. That's a possibility. Unless you have some other things in your chart that are strong, which you do. You're fortunate. You've got your Mercury in Gemini. So that would carry you through for sure. Yeah, I'm just looking to see if there was something else that's messing with your Mercury though. Um yeah. Yeah, last week. Has it cleared up? I would think it's maybe a little bit better for you this week already because, like I said, the Mercury is pulled ahead. But you are in the cycle where you have Uranus conjunct Mars regardless, and that's not going to be a one and done thing, you know? It won't leave your Mars alone for another month, Donna. Where the Uranus energy, which is like disruptive communications, fast communications, technology, assertive, aggressive, maybe even initiating something new for sure, because that's Mars. Better now for sure. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, you guys have the same thing. And here you are. That makes sense, doesn't it? All right, let's go to the next one. Let's see who else we got here. Sergi. All right. Yeah, I think I got you. Let me take a look real quick and see what we got here for you. Um, so yeah, Donna, remember, you got another month, a full month of Uranus right on top of your Mars. It won't be till mid-July when that Uranian energy gets off of your Mars. Let's go see SER. I know it was under that name because I recognize that name, so I know that's got to be under that name. Oh no, Sergi, do I not have it under that name? What's going on here? Let me go find that name. Sergius 648. You read for me. Oh, good. You put in the information. Okay, career. I can do that. Let's get your information. All right, let me look through the S's one more time. It's a lot easier. Maybe I went too fast. There's a lot of S's. Holy shit, Sergi's not in here. Now, why did I not have Sergius 648? Strange. All right, let's create you a new chart. Very strange. Maybe you were here once before and maybe I didn't. Did I actually get to read for you though? Maybe I didn't actually get to read for you. Maybe you were one of the people I didn't get to read for. I don't know. All right, so we have August 8th, 1982. Oh, I gotta spell August, right? August 8th, 1982, 8 a.m. exactly. And did you say that was actually on the birth certificate? Because I think I remember looking at your chart now, because very few people have that. So they usually kind of, yeah, and I remember you're in Kiev. Like who? Yeah, I do remember reading for you because I remember. Huh, that is really weird. It's possible I drew it up, and if there were people waiting, I might have accidentally didn't hit the save button. That's a possibility. All right, do you know your chart? Oh, Lord, I must have spelled it wrong. They're telling me it doesn't exist. KYIV. KYIV. That's what I have it as. Did I spell Ukraine wrong? Ukraine. Ukraine. That's what I have it as. August 8th, 1982. This is showing me a Virgo on the ascendant at 7 degrees. Does that sound about right? Even though it told me that this wasn't you. Strange. Here, let's pull it up. Let's take a look. I need water. Both birth certificate and both parents. Awesome. Okay, Leo. Okay, let's switch that out. Man, is it going to give me a hard time today? What the frick? August 8th, 1982. 8 a.m. exactly. 8 a.m. Maybe I'll try to spell this in a different way and see if that helps. It's just so crazy. We'll see. All right, let's see what this one comes up with. Oh, look at that. It took that one. KIEV it took. Okay. All right, now we got you saved. Yeah, I do remember. It's hard to forget the Leo risings at 29 degree with Regulus on the ascendant. Really hard. And you got Mercury right there. Holy moly. Okay. All right. So Uranus is going to go through your Gemini energy. Uranus in your midheaven career. Interesting, right? Uranus is trining your 6th house cusp line. Well, you have a nice grand air trine here, actually. Sun god, okay. Horus, okay. Oh, a mediator. Ability to take control of a situation, to overcome obstacles, to get to the resolution. It's insight that enables you to get past blocks, to work around them. So you're the workaround king, okay, to reach the goal. So that's your gift. You're the workarounder, okay. You have a nice grand air trine with that, which means you'd be able to do that using words and in communication and thinking, figuring out solutions. Okay, that can be used in any of these fields. Did you say tech? I don't think you said tech, but you've got tech on the 6th house cusp line of technology and work. But it's Aquarius energy, so you get to do whatever the hell you want with it. But it's definitely got a science bent on it. It's futuristic energy, super futuristic. So what does that mean for career? Let's see this Uranian energy right here at 121. Okay, you already had Mercury trining it. Uranus says I need to break out and break free and break away. Are you trying to do that? Like it's not just work and careers and I want to get a raise or something. I want to try to get out of the same field maybe. Or at least be more independent, especially with Uranus going through the 10th. I'm the boss of the bosses. I'm the boss of myself. That's probably a big desire, I would think. You don't have, let me see, what's your birth? 82. Okay, let me see if we can see some other stuff real quick here. The sun will get there. Yeah, you got a nice sextile going to your 12th house, foreigners, foreign lands, foreign language, foreign country. Your sun is in the 12th house. Another person's sun in the 12th house. So these people usually work behind the scenes. So if you're doing tech, that makes sense. Um, but there's more of a creative vibe that comes out of the 12th house for you, especially with Leo energy and Pisces. Whew, yeah. Theater, sound, color, even painting, but words and music and just, yeah, it's very dramatic energy, very theatrical, performative energy. These are even like politicians. I mean, just saying, just saying. um, Leo has a great sense of humor usually too, quick in the mind, right? That Aquarius at the opposition. And you have Pluto here, which says, I'm changing my work. Now, honestly, looking at this, the sun is going to get to the 28, 29. It's going to be conjunct Uranian energy. Maybe you'll, get a little bit of a recognition, possibly a little bit of a burst, but I think you would have already kind of received that with your midheaven at 19 degrees of Taurus, like all the stuff that went through Taurus, right? So, how about this? Mars just entered Taurus energy. It's a big day today, actually. Mars entered Taurus and Venus entered Cancer. So, it's a nice sextile that these two make with each other. And that talks about a need for emotional security. Okay. But that's with Venus. Mars and Taurus is like, I need the financial security, damn it. Show me the money. So, when Mars gets to your midheaven, that's some time away. It's not super long, but it's quicker than, I don't know, it's quicker than waiting for Uranus to line up to your Saturn down here. Your Saturn's at 17. That's going to be a minute before that happens. If you're looking for a long-term change and breakaway. But recognition and rewards can still come. Let me see if Mars, Mars is your great malefic. Shit. Okay, that changes that a little bit. Let me go see where Jupiter is for you. You have Jupiter in water. Oh, then there you go. You're waiting. Oh, yeah. So you have Venus training your natal Jupiter, which is conjunct your natal Mars. Okay, third house of information and communications. That's a mixed bag, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It's a mixed bag for you. But it can be beneficial. It can be good communications that come. Jupiter usually provides a protective bubble, but Jupiter kind of requires hope, optimism, and faith. Like, that's the thing about the Jupiter energy. It kind of requires us to tap into something we can't hold in our hand. Some people on a baby Jupiter level would like maybe hold the Bible in their hand because it's something material and tangible. But Jupiter is a visual thing. But your Jupiter in Scorpio has some power behind it. This is history here. You've got a lot of history. These people are major fighters, major generals, like in battles and shit, because it's conjunct your Mars. These are those people who, part of the crusade type of energy, even really strong. So there might be some stuff that you're working on as far as history in the past and that you're sorting out. And that makes it difficult because Jupiter also involves your future. So this is kind of complex. Yeah. This is complex because this is, when we look at these two energies and we think of shared values, shared resources, shared money, right? Yeah. And you've got the nodes in your seventh house, and they're going to be at 2 degrees at this time. This is June. This is mid-June we're looking at. But if we even move it back a little bit, June 9th, Mars is going to touch your midheaven. And what that normally means is we're going to take action on this new goal, this new direction, this new ambition that I have. And this is to establish my material long-term financial security. So Mars helps us to take action and to start something new. And if you're thinking of it, well, Mars is going to say, hey, let's do it. And at least get our feet out, dipped into the water type of thing. The other thing too is let me get rid of this for you real quick. If you look at your natal Uranus, you see that at 0? So that tech thing, that makes a lot of sense. Comes up again and yours is at 0. So this is, I might travel, right? but it's different and new, but it's really strong pioneer energy, really strong. I think I even act tech and like, yeah, spaceships and shit. Because it's like I'm going off the planet, man. I'm going off the planet. It's the ultimate seeker with Uranus energy there. So new, different, super original and inventive. Now this is in home. This is in the placement of home and family. So maybe home being on the road, but maybe being some people feel better on the road. Some people, even though they may live in a place, they may notice a cycle that they move every 6, 7 years or something. And some people just leave their shit and they just pick up and go to the next place and they don't take anything with them, short of a suitcase full of clothes and maybe a few other odd items, but they just leave everything behind. They don't hold on to anything. However, Scorpio energy kind of tends to hold on to stuff. But I do see partnership energy here and really a big focus on the future. And this is connected to home and family and your foundations. And your foundations are based on we're always going to be seeking and searching. So that might be a little bit of a tricky energy if you're not one that likes to be on the roam. But you do have a nice amount of fire in your chart. So that should absolutely help you to kind of always be in this lively momentum. Whereas if you had like Taurus energy down here anywhere in the second, third, or fourth, although Scorpio is fixed, but Saggy is the seeker, man. It goes on a freaking journey. So sometimes these folks, they'll work the regular 9 to 5 and they'll stick with it. And I know somebody who's got this in like 30 years, same job, right? But boy, that person had to be on their vacation like every few months or so, like every 4 or 5 months. They had to be gone. Like it had to be penciled in. And like the next one had to already be set up before they got back from the other one. Because to travel and to seek and to search and to like that was a part of their emotional need. It was a part of their experiencing freedom. Yeah. What I love for you in your chart is you've got the Saturn, the partnership energy. So whether it's personal, like spouse or marriage, but also professional in the second house. So this would be highly beneficial to have that because it's Saturn, which is, I think, of the long-term commitment. This is contracts, right? Contracts and commitments. And you have Pallas Athena right there. So I would say this is a really nice combo where I'm strategizing and planning. To me, that's a huge superpower, big time, because it trines Rigel up here at 16 degrees. So I would say you got a couple of aces in your pocket. So whether you're trying to go independent, I think you probably have the ability. But here's the thing I want to throw out there to people is because we're in such a flux, we're going through major changes, like it's a global thing, right? Yeah. I mean, countries are switching up who they're partnering up with. And so that all, comes down to different businesses. And so it's a major fluctuation that everybody's in. So you might just have to juggle a couple of things at one time, I guess is the point, until you feel that something has picked up and stabilized where you can feel like, okay, yeah, this is the path I'm going to take. But having that Leo energy there, it definitely gives off that appearance of a very commanding, authoritative, I'm in control type of thing. I'm the boss. And the Mercury, that's just like, wow, fascinating to see it. I honestly have only seen 2 other charts that have that, where it's like Mercury and the 29 degrees and the Leo energy right on the ascendant. Not that it doesn't exist, it surely does, but I imagine those individuals feel that, yeah, they probably don't need my assistance. They're the boss of their own life, damn it. All right, Sergius, I got you in here now for next time. If you ever decide to come back, we're going to move on. Let's see who's next. Otherwise, we are out. Is there anybody else here that I didn't get to? Let's see. All right, I got that saved. I just wanted to double check that. Surges says, I know, right? Teamwork. You see that chart? Wow. Yeah, I work in tech. Yep, that makes sense. I hope so, because yeah, it's there. Yes, very much spouse driving the change originally, but now me too. Again, when people have that Uranian energy, which is like, I need it refuses to become stagnant. That's how that energy shows up. It refuses water that just sits there. It says, no, we got to get rid of this. We need change. Yeah, thank you. It's all resonating. Been acting already, just not getting results so far. Yep, keep at it. You've got a lot of really wonderful things in your chart. I don't have any, major concerns. When I see charts like that, you've just got a lot of wonderful stuff to help. All right, so now we've got, who do we got here? April 14th, 2004. Have you seen your chart before? Gorab? I don't know if that's how you say it, so forgive my lack of skills reading names. Oh, wait a minute. Let's move this over here. There we go. So we got, what is that? India? North. Okay. Wow. So North 24 PGS. I never heard of that. What the hell is that? Okay. Let's see what I come up with. And no, you have never seen your chart? And you have 11:56 p.m.? Okay. Oh, you've never seen your chart. Well, this makes that tricky. Every blue moon, this software gets weird on me and will show me something that's not accurate. And so I always say, hey, are you this? But we'll see how many people, so far it's dead as can be. So if it's still really slow, then maybe I'll have time. I can draw it up on a different software system for you so we can double check it just to make sure. Otherwise, it's frustrating reading charts that aren't people's charts. They're looking at me like I got 4 eyeballs, and I'm like, well, shit, it ain't your chart. I didn't know. Yeah, April 14th. Ooh, I have a sibling with that birthday. Not 2004, but April 14th. And 11:56 p.m. Let's do that. Okay, so all right. Okay, let's see what we get here. All right, so yeah, let me scroll over to here and get this in here, and let's see what we can take a look at here. Now, you said that you don't really know for sure. So let me see if I can access this other software really quick, and we'll do a backup chart for you just to make sure that we've got your digits and that it's a chart that matches. So bear with me, okay? And April 14th. So hold on, we're almost there. 11:56. Okay. Yeah, all right. SAT. Okay, they're both the same. Okay, great. All right, so this should work. Let's take a peek and see if it matches the chart we got for you. All right, they're showing me Capricorn at 16 degrees 54 minutes on the ascendant. Oh, and that's what we have. Excellent. Oh my God, we are in luck. Aquarius moon at 28. No way. Yeah. Aquarius moon at 28 degrees. So this is you. So you've never seen your chart before. Holy crap. What an honor. Honestly, to show someone their chart. So there's your moon, 28 degrees. This is unconventional energy. It's very different. So home, mom, and family. Very different kind of energy. And it's going to be the values that we place upon who is family. Now, Aquarius energy can also be like friend energy as well, but it's group energy. But societal structures, changes, like global stuff would be emotionally satisfying for you. Let's see if there's an angle to that though. No, there's a trine. Okay, let's see if you've got Taurus. Ooh, you do have, that could be tricky. Okay, so this is a strong square, which would bring some stress and tension to the emotions, to mom, to home, to family, to your own emotions. Children, fun, joy, creativity, romance, but values can be under some stress here, and shared values. Again, it can be romance and children, but it can also be more group energy and friends, and making and having, I should say, acquiring and setting up like a deep resonating connection, bonding energy. You follow? Because your moon, which is a very detached energy, can be very detached. But yeah, this is such a tricky situation you have, I think. It can, Uranus energy and this Aquarius energy you got here, and it doesn't help that you have Uranus also in Pisces, which is highly sensitive, but it rules the nervous system, the nerves, it rules all that. And you even have Pisces on the third house cusp line at 28. So more stuff about home and family and sensitivities, but maybe even anxiety. Some would say, some energetic. I use this, energetic, not disease, but dis-ease, like things are out of whack a little bit or something, right? So that could have been a description of mom or what home was like as a child. But different and unique and fun possible also, because there's a flip side to all of this. And things being disruptive and abruptive and shocking and surprising and sudden, because you even have a vertex point here, which means there are events and people. Some even call this a fated energy, where like events occur, like a door opens and two doors close, or vice versa. This is, like I said, this was the first thing that kind of jumped out, and so this can be tricky. Anything that affects our nervous system, it's just tricky energy. It makes it hard to navigate life. However, Aquarian energy and Uranus energy can make us the authority of our own life. So if we have like a certain amount of discipline that we have, kind of developed, because Saturn's the ancient ruler of this Aquarius energy. So discipline and the ability to remain detached. It doesn't mean that we don't care, but to not take life and things so personally. But I think that might not be too big of a problem with an Aries sun. These are people who are usually more about forward thinking and self and me, might be a little bit on the egoic side, maybe even a little prideful, but usually very daring and an assertive communicator even. That's strong energy there, Aries in the third house. But this shows a mixed bag because, again, Pisces is on that third house cusp line, okay? You do have a retrograding Mercury. This means your mind is incredibly fast. You have Mercury at home where it belongs, but it's got a little bit of a firecracker at the other end of it. You follow? So it can be like, just super speedy and fast. And so that mixture, information may come to you really fast, but you might lack like the follow through on that information. So this would be a little wonky, especially if we're surfing the internet. We'd want to be cautious in times like that, because it's easy for anybody to just come across some information and be like, oh yeah, awesome, great, send, share, and it's be like, oh shit, Um, but technology, anytime you see this Uranus and Aquarius energy, making money, receiving income with technology, that's this Aquarius stuff. I will say this is science, this is astronomy, this is the stars, this is inventions, this is astrology. This is astrology. So astrology, yeah, there just might be something there for you where it makes sense or maybe not. It just depends on where you're at in your life. Sometimes we just don't have the patience for that kind of shit, or other times it just clicks and we could care less. It's like we just have a knowledge about something and yeah, we don't care it's like when people have a gift, right? And it's not something they had to earn. They just were kind of born that way. And so it's almost like we take it for granted because we just have knowledge about some things. But you do have a wonderful trine of income and money and being very individualistic and unique and original, unconventional, trend-setting energy. And it even trines your sixth house cusp line of work and projects and day-to-day routines and domestic tasks and the job. But again, more boss energy, the authority figure of your own life, possibly. You've got your Mars and Venus together in the house of having a good time, loving variety, entertainment, and play. Oh, this is big. Peers, siblings, neighbors, coworkers, having a good time together. Yeah, that's that Gemini. Loves to learn. Learning would be fun. Teaching might even be fun. You even have like the teacher energy too on your second house. Publishing energy, income and money. And then you have law in the house of law and judges and lawyers. Wow, interesting chart. Scorpio at the midheaven at 0. Taurus at 0. This means in our home, we are going to be extremely fixed, like we're not going to budge. This would be tricky energy for you. Now, at the same time, you've got some Scorpio energy, which is your superpower. It talks about really fixed energy as well. And this is with shared values, natural resources, the occult. And in the 10th house, there might be a few things that you are definitely aware of. This is occult energy. This is the hidden, the unknown. And with that, you even have a Pluto retrograding because Pluto is a ruler of that, along with your Mars energy. So learning and knowledge and group energy comes up again. Occult information about the group. Possibly corporations. This makes me think of insurance companies, but this can also be unionizing type of energy. Shared values, taxes, tariffs. I think I said insurances already, but this is the ultimate researcher. Scorpio is the super detective of the zodiac. So when people have this up at their midheaven, they're like the excavators. They're going to dig, they're going to drill for shit. They're going to get to the bottom of it. They're going to get to the truth, damn it. Come hell or high water, they're going to get to the truth. They're going to dig till they find the oil. They're going to dig till they find the gold. So yeah, if you haven't seen your chart, the only way to confirm that it makes sense for you is for somebody to just look at it and read it, and for you to be like, yeah, that makes sense, or no, it doesn't make sense. This chart does show that you have a wound in the first house. Your physical body would have been when you were very, very small. And it may had to do with, it's Capricorn, so it can be like knees, bones, structures of our body, even our teeth, possibly, maybe even possibly the skin. It's in the first house. So you would have been quite small. So there would have been a wound connected to that. And sometimes those wounds are from another time. But it can even make us feel possibly even a little insecure because it's in the first house of this is my appearance even. So there might be something about you because you're a Capricorn on the rising where these people usually have like this authoritative look, like they look like a boss type of energy. So there might be a connection to having like a painful experience, maybe with dad. It could be with mom. It could be with anybody who was an authority figure, possibly. And sometimes these folks could even be take on a profession as being a healer in some capacity, because this is Chiron, this little green thing. This is Chiron, the wounded healer. The wounded healer. And you have Juno partnerships very close to it. Right there, that's Juno. So that would be professional partnerships. And Capricorn is usually like corporations and what I'm building for my long-term financial security, right? And look, you got Jupiter up there in your 8th house. And Jupiter's, yeah, it's in the Virgo energy, but it's in the 8th. And usually these folks are pretty damn smart, especially when we're talking about some of the occult stuff. Yeah. Saturn in the house of health again. Saturn in your 1st house, so it's spine stuff. Can be spinal stuff, can be restrictions, slowdowns. All right. And this may have to do with, again, home and family and mom having a family. Yeah, some people want children. They can't have children, or it feels like they can't have them because it hasn't happened yet. But overall, you have a nice, huge water trine there. You really do, a really strong supportive trine. The biggest thing I would say you could take away from in looking at your chart here is recognizing the 0 degrees on your midheaven and the 0 degrees in the home. Fixed energy at 0 degrees is extremely intense. We have to be aware of our desires with the Taurus in the home, family, my material, tangible things, my values. So if somebody comes into my house and touches something, there might be a battle, possessive about food, needing food to nurture oneself would be a thing too here, with Taurus in the 4th house. And then at that midheaven, the Scorpio, very combative energy. These are people that will go to war, right? These are really intense individuals, and you have that as your superpower. So I'm going to read directly from here, so it doesn't sound like it's something I'm saying, and don't want people to take things personally. But Scorpio can represent our vulnerabilities and our deep wounds. So this talks about a quest to overcome distrust of change. It's to develop creative outlets for the intense emotions and to avoid lashing out, whether it's at loved ones or whatnot, people that you're close to. It talks about suffering as well, and traumatic endings in past lives, which leaves us with deep emotional wounds and a feeling possibly of being cheated. And considering this is in that 10th house placement of father, of authority figure, but also career, right? It can be wounds connected to that as well, in addition to, really. But it does, 10th house also says, I'm not going to just give this to you. You have to work hard at it over a long period of time. Okay. So in learning this life's lesson of trusting the process of change, you will develop a newfound sense of peace and stability. And this energy requires a lot of time and a lot of work in terms of developing a trust to have created these deeply bonded relationships. So trust in self would be a big deal there. All righty. I think, let's see. I hope that helps. You haven't seen your chart. Hopefully that gave you a little something to think about. I know that was kind of probably a lot, but I'm saving it. That way you have it. And I'm going to jump over to the Gmail real quick. And if I don't see anything there, let me go here real quick and hit this refresher. And yeah. Okay, anybody else? This is G, and I look at charts. So if yes, you are welcome. I hope it made some sense for you. Birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. I do this on Saturday nights. This Saturday, I will not be doing what I'm doing right now. That's why I'm doing it now. We have a private lives on Saturday night. It's the same as this, but it's done privately, and it is limited spaces only. I take a very small group. It's very small, very intimate. And it's meant to be private for that reason, and give people like a safe space to talk about things that they wouldn't talk about here. Okay. So if you ever want in on a private lives, you have to send an email to me and let me know so that we can set that up and arrange that in advance. The one for Saturday is already fully booked. Again, they're small, and so you have to let me know as soon as possible when you want the next one. They are the third Saturday of every month are the private lives. Okay. And then the second Saturday of every month, we have an astrology class. Yep. Doesn't matter where you're at in astrology at any level. You can jump in at any time. All the classes are recorded, so you can go back and watch them at your leisure or go over them at your leisure, however you want to do it. However, the perk of being in the class is your chart is part of the class. You follow? And then other than that, the other Saturday, so that would leave us the first and no, I think I said that wrong. Did I say that wrong? I did say that wrong. The last Saturday, the fourth Saturday of every month. Anyway, if you go on the YouTube channel page for Allastrology, there's a schedule. It's written down there. Okay. All right. So, we got one more. Here we go. So we've got One Love. All right. November 5th, 1968. Hey, Canada. Hello. All right. Let's get you in here, Canada. Let's get your chart drawn up. Have you seen your chart before? Yep. I do speed readings. You get a free reading, speed reading. If there's somebody who wants me to spend more time, you can do that. You just send a gift to the channel and then I spend more time in your chart for those of you that are able to do so. And if not, don't worry about it. I'm just here to provide help. One love. One love and the XO even there. Look at that. Okay. Did you give, November 5th. I know somebody born on that day. Interesting. November. Can I spell it? Wow. Different year though, for sure. 11:27 p.m. Oh, great. And let's see what we got here. Toronto. I thought it was going to be really hot in here because I have to like shut the windows and shit. Because the kids in the neighborhood sometimes like really just, they've got all the devices, all the toys, all the go-karts flying down the street and shit. Yeah, no problem. Let's do this for you. Did you say if you've seen your chart before? But the air's on. I didn't realize. I don't know. I wasn't thinking. It's not that hot out today. It's like in the 70s. It's beautiful, actually. Here we go. Let's get you on here. Yeah, some people are probably like, is that G? She doesn't have a scarf on her head. Like, yep, you're right. It gets hot after a while, especially if you're in a room with the windows shut, but the air's on. I wasn't really thinking. Okay, One Love. This is you. Did you say yes, you've seen your chart before? Well, this chart is giving me another Leo rising at 16 degrees. Yeah, Leo rising. Ooh, you got Mars and Jupiter conjunct in Virgo. Interesting. Holy shit. Okay. And Pluto not far. Woo. Wow. Uranus at 2. Is this you? So this says you're a Taurus moon at 24 degrees, a Leo rising at 16, and a Scorpio sun at 13. And well, we knew that, right? By birthday. It's the rising. That's the question. Do you know if this is your Leo rising and a Taurus moon at 24? Tough life for sure. Oh, yes, I've seen it. Okay, great. Whole sign, but long time ago. Okay. So you feel like, yeah, that's me. All right. I just don't want to read it. And then someone says to me, hey, that isn't me. I need water. Hold on a second. Oh, Venus at 19. Okay. Saturn, a retrograde Saturn, tough life for sure. No doubt about it with a Saturn that's in a retrograde. So I'm going to ask you what I ask everybody when I see a Saturn retrograde in the chart. Do you feel like you've lived this life before? I don't have a Saturn retrograde, but that's the teaching. And I never don't assume it's true. So I just ask people. Can you confirm that? What's nice, though, is you have Venus that trines your Saturn. And that Venus is your great benefic in your chart, and she trines your Saturn. So what does that mean? Well, it is interesting. Venus can represent relationships. And honestly, people who have Saggy in the 5th house and in the 7th house, it can be tricky. Not that there is nothing else that's tricky. There can be a lot of other configurations that are tricky for people, but Sagittarius wants freedom. Ultimately, it's always on the search. It's always seeking. And this is in the house. This is in the house of fun and play. That's what it's in the house of. So your love language in this chart, right? One love. So I don't know if you're looking for a relationship, but I don't know if you want to focus, if you're looking for male or female. And the only reason I'm asking that, and that's outdated, I get it. But the reason I'm asking that is that the Venus, like for a chart that's looking for masculine energy, then we would be looking to their Jupiter to show up in their life. You follow? For a chart that's looking for a native that's looking for feminine energy, we would look to see, okay, where is Venus at? How is she showing up, right? And then we would look at Juno too. Yeah, and even your Juno is in deeply bonded energy. It's in Scorpio too, though. And so there's a lot of freaking history. There's a lot of past here. Ooh, steeping in it. What does that mean? Anytime you're in relationships with people, but especially family members, there's history. There just is. So what's tricky about that is many times we are carrying the past with us. Like we just are. Scorpio's deeply, deep traumatic energy, deep wounds from the past. So when we carry that, oh man, that is hard, because if we haven't released it, if we haven't made like this conscious disciplined sort of focus to be like, I am releasing, I am cutting all these energetic bonds. I'm, in a lifetime where I'm focused on not the future, but I am focused on the here and now, and relieving myself, like cutting off the ball and chain type of energy, dropping all the anchors, disconnecting them from me energetically. Then if we don't do that, it's damn near, it spoils the relationships that we're currently in and the relationships that we may have eventually one day. So the Scorpio energy is deeply psychological. So this can make the traumas of the past a tricky thing, because it plays into the present. Do you follow? Yeah, you have Neptune. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So as far as bonded energy and people that you do bond with, especially when you meet these people, and they might even, other than our own family members, right? Because this can be complicated with home and family and mom. It can show that there's trauma and wounds through the mother's lineage even, all right? Like the transgenerational astrology stuff. It can show up that way. And I see the direct connection to the past and karma big time, because it's Neptune with your moon right across from it. Mom, home, and family. But it's in the house of dad and career. So it's almost like there's a mixture of the mom and dad, or mom being the dad, or possibly vice versa. But the mystery and the occult and the wounds and the father and the authority figure energy is here in your 4th house. And again, the moving forward stuff. Okay, so with all that said now, because you have to kind of understand all of that. Otherwise, we can't. We're stuck in the past. It doesn't matter how many new relationships we start, we can get stuck, not realizing it's the past that's holding us back. Yeah, and you even have a Jupiter degree in relationships and karmic energy here too, but also the past. So this talks about a quest to become self-empowered, a tendency to be indecisive, always considering the needs of others first. And now it's about discovering a sense of your own identity. You follow? Looks like you might have some help in that though. A boost and confident and outgoing energy. God, these are all retrogrades here in the ninth house. This is, again, my body, my appearance, me taking action, me initiating, me starting. This can be traveling, this can be higher education, but always seeking and searching energy. This can also be the placement of publishing because you have Saturn there. That might be important. Saturn is about my career and long-term goals. But wanting to explore other cultures, other ways of life, other theology, other religions, and spirituality. Yeah, that can be a thing. This can also be the placement of like justice and law. Justice, law, and freedoms. Whew, holy shit. This would be a fighter for those things with all this Aries here, the fighter, the Marine, the warrior, the soldier. And there's history of all of that. Because look, this looks like you might even have been a medic. You see that? Mars and Jupiter conjunct at 28, the one who can nurture, but it's in the healing energy of the Virgo, a nurse of some sort even. Doesn't mean you can't do that right now. You absolutely could. Some sort of a domestic capacity, possibly even. Usually not very flashy or, but it's Virgo, the fixer. They come in and they can make things better than when they found them. But something deeply powerfully and changing, transformational with the public. You have a lot of strong mom, home, and family and public energy in your chart. The other thing, too, in relationships is Uranus. It's got 2 degrees here. And that says new, different, exciting relationships, personal and professional. All right. So with that all said, just got to lay that on the line for you so you're aware of that. This Pluto is going to do a retrograde. And when it goes retrograde, it's going to touch your Uranus. It's going to talk to your Uranian energy again, which means another change. So it's within significant one-on-one relationships. It can be professional as far as jobs. It can be contracts. If you do contract work, it can just be simply something like that. Your midheaven, you said relationships. Are you looking for something serious, like saying, hey, what about, the reverse roles, mother, father? Yep. This all makes sense. I followed for sure a couple of years ago, just put myself first and selfish. Yeah. Yes, mom is the narcissist. Yeah. You know what? We were just having a huge conversation about this in the house today about narcissism. I was sharing a story about some teacher who was talking about stages of narcissism and how we're not supposed to stay in that stage, but that it is a vital stage that we have it. And then once we evolve and grow and mature, we move out of that stage. But we first have to have that stage to first understand like self-worth and to put ourselves first and to gain a firm ground of self-esteem. Once we value ourselves, when we value others and we have healthy boundaries. Scorpio energy does not know the meaning of the word healthy boundaries, just in general, because their energy, the way it's designed, energetically, literally, is to probe and to penetrate. Like that's what Scorpio energy does. So it can probe and penetrate energetically. Sure, it can do it physically, right? But it can also do it energetically. And that can be a tricky thing. So if this was a mom thing, that would be very difficult. Because this would be emotional warfare, psychological warfare. Like that's how I do battle with you psychologically. Yeah. Manipulative with the emotions. Oh my God. Yeah, there's a lot of karmic shit here. So it's interesting, right? Big focus on mom, and the nodes are at 4. This is all really important to understand before we can move forward. So for you, when Pluto goes backwards and gets there, I'm going to give you real quick a timeline on that because Pluto can make a change in those relationships. And it's a big deal because your Uranus, again, even though it's tucked away in your second house, it's technically on that third house cusp line, okay? So that combination of those two together, Uranus, Pluto going back is going to hit. I want to go back to the end of its retrograde. It's not that far off, actually. It's like the end of summer. Pluto's going to get to 3 degrees. Let me see your tour. Okay, you got nothing there. What about your opposition? Okay, you got stuff at 5. Okay. So at this time, Uranus is up in the sky going retrograde. It will connect with your midheaven. So if you're in a relationship and you're looking for, like, is this going to turn into a long-term committed thing? With Saturn going through the 9th house of I'm thinking about my future, and Saturn is about commitments. That will if that's something you're already in and you're looking for it to evolve into something serious and long term, that's a damn good possibility when Saturn comes home. That's going to be a little bit of ways off. So this first trigger, this first opportunity, because there'll be a lot going through Libra at the time, it'll be Libra season. Venus will have just been in Libra, and now Venus is in Scorpio, which is we're reconsidering our values and who we value and our priorities, and it's bonded energy, which is part of marriage. This is, wait a minute, hold on, I went past the retrograde. So this is October. Yeah, it'll become more powerful here. So this is October. It's literally like the first 10 days of October. Okay. Now, this is more of like the beginning of a big cycle for you. And that's where Pluto's going to get, that's where it's going to trigger it. And it looks like you have a new moon that'll be happening in your relationships as well, a new beginning of some sort. Again, it can be professional. This is in your 3rd house. So it's talking, it's sales, it's communication, it can be social media. It's 3rd house. It's networking, whether it's in your local community, but contract work. This is 3rd house is also the writer, by the way. It is the law and lawyers. So October begins a cycle for you. And this will be a huge cycle for a lot of folks, really. But then I'm looking at your bigger cycle, which is Saturn, which kind of makes me curious. How fast is Saturn going to get there? Saturn does a retrograde over your Saturn retrograde. Oh, Lord. Saturn is rules and restrictions and says if you're not on the path you should be on, it forces you to get disciplined and to get on that path. So in the 9th house, this is the placement of publishing, learning and teaching. Preachers, higher knowledge, wisdom, spirituality, religion, law, lawyer energy. It is traveler. This would be the ultimate adventurer. The person who's, the global adventurer, right? Aries in the 9th. So this is like not until 2027, but it's in the first 4 months of 2027, April of 2027. Yeah. A little bit of action going on there. And Saturn is coming home to you and saying it's time to get serious. And even Juno's going to be there, partnership. See that? And then Mercury's going to be there. Ooh. Saturn talks about long-term commitments and what we're building for the future. This looks like this could be a big time for you. It could be a big time. Okay. So did you answer? Let me see. Let me go to your comment real quick. Did you say anything about if you felt like you were reliving a life? Do you know what I'm saying? Like if this life has felt so heavy and burdensome that you felt like, oh my God, I know I've done this shit before. This all makes sense. Follow for her couple. Just put my yeah. I think I saw that narcissistic mom. Yeah, hoping a loving relationship with. Okay, I don't know. My chat's weird. All right. Well, the long-term commitments in the Saturn energy comes down to beliefs, and it is very hopeful because you have Aries in the house of hope, literally initiating and starting and responsibility and duties, but long-term commitments. And you're even going to have Mars trining your Saturn at that time. Wow. Well, I don't know what you'll be doing, but my gosh, some sort of maybe it's a travel thing, possibly, but it could be so much more because your first house, your fifth house, and your ninth house, which means Venus and Mars and your Saturn, are all making contact in some kind of way. So it just comes down to what you choose, what you decide you're making a commitment to. And self is going to be part of that because it's in Aries that I'm talking about. For sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. If there's anybody else listening, I don't see any other digits in here. Let me go check the email one last time. And then if there's nobody else, then I'm probably going to call it quits there. I'm just trying to help folks out and trying to catch up on people that we always seem to run out of time. Let me refresh this thing over here. Nope, I don't see any other names. Okay. Well, then I think I am done early. Yeah, I think I'm done early. All right. You are welcome. You are welcome. All right. Okay. It is time to say goodbye. We're going to end this here. And thank you for everybody stopping by. And again, you might, Saturday night you won't see me, but I might try to do another live. I don't know, sometime between now and then. We'll see, because I'm not going to be live on Saturday. But if there's nobody else, then we're going to move on. What time did we start at 3 o'clock? Is that right? Did we start at 3? It's already 4:30. Holy shit. All right. So I have 30 minutes left if there's anybody else. If not, we're out of here. Okay. All right. Then we are out. Okay, everybody. Thank you very much. Till next time. See ya.